is short. It's a shortened version of Waswagoning. Waswagoning was a prophet, a teacher among the Ojibwe people. And we are told in our stories that he left. And he said, I'll return one day, like all the prophets have said. I'll return. And so when you met a stranger in the woods or wherever, the first thing you said to him was, are you Waswagoning? And over the years, it just got shortened to Waswagoning. And then after you met the person, of course, the word that you say is ani, I. So Waswagoning then definitely is Ojibwe. But what we're going to hear about here is the somewhat sort of an introduction into the Anishinaabe Vamadaziwin, the Ojibwe way of life. And I brought some of the items that our people used long ago. Very obvious that we're different today. And what makes the birch bark so special? Number one, it's very pliable and bendable. Comes off the tree relatively easy for 1 month out of the year. So it comes off the tree very easily, and it's pliable, and it's very, very strong. But more importantly, that it's waterproof. You can take a piece of bark and put it in the water for a year, and it will not absorb a drop. Take it out of the water, shake the excess off, strike a match, and it'll burn. And it's insect-proof. A healthy birch tree will not even have a woodpecker hole in it, because woodpeckers are very smart. They know there's no bugs, there's nothing living inside that bark. And so these baskets that were being made were used to store food. From the maple tree is the only sap that is used commercially as food. Of course, we know it by the sugar or we know it by the syrup. But it is so valuable to our people that we don't sell it. I'll sell the syrup. Syrup is something my people never kept, simply because you couldn't store that. But the sugar you gave away, or you use in your household. But my grandparents used to say always, when you have friends or relatives that come to your house and you want to honor them in a really unique way, you give them maple sugar. Headdress. But very quickly, this headpiece, what does it represent? There's a number of things about this headdress that some of you may know, most of you probably don't know. So I'll explain it to you. The hair standing up on here comes from two different animals. One is the gog. The other is the wawashkeshi. The gog is the porcupine. The wawashkeshi is the white-tailed deer. One of the teachings of this headdress is that it comes from those animals. Because when you see people walking around the village, typically, if you were transported back 600-700 years ago, you went among the Ojibwes, you probably, in an average day, you'd see no man wearing a headdress. Except when he was defending the village. Except when he was going into ceremony, he might put the headdress on. Just average, everyday walking around, no. But among the Ojibwe, the eagle feather, very important. And long ago, of course, acquiring eagle feathers, it usually took a special act of some kind to receive an eagle feather. Another headdress that I have would be, or a headpiece, would be something like this. That would be just no feathers on it. And the reason why is because this would be worn in the winter just to keep your head warm. In the winter time, especially among the northern people, conflict or warfare subsided almost to non-existence. It just didn't happen anymore. Survival was the name of the game. Staying alive through the winter was what it was all about. So you didn't have time. You didn't have time to fight, and so you didn't wear your eagle feathers. The headdress of the Lakota, the Plains Indians, oftentimes looked like this. So this weapon was a weapon of choice. You got up close to your enemy. And of course, this probably could give you a pretty good headache. Got a deer antler. But the most important thing I've been told about this is that the effigy that's carved on the end. Not all weapons had effigies, but certainly, maybe even as you look through the reference books about Native people long ago, one of the things you find out is you will never see two Native people wearing anything close to the same kind of designs. Those designs and those symbols oftentimes have special significance. Shakers are used in ceremonies. And the shaker, we're told, makes a sound that is the first thing in creation. Is the sound. And it's very interesting now that they have looked to the end of the universe with their big radio telescopes. In other words, they've looked all the way out there past the galaxies that are speeding away at the speed of light, and they found the edge of the universe. And do you know what it sounds like according to them?